Derek Downes is the Animal Care Supervisor at the North Island Wildlife Recovery Center, who has the opportunity to care for a bald eagle that has become a permanent resident.
Yeah, so this is Casey. Casey is a bald eagle, and Casey came to us May 17th, 2019 as a little eaglet with a shattered wing and a broken leg. So we were able to help his leg, but there was nothing that we could do to make the wing viable for flight. But we did work really hard to save the wing for balance. So a heavy-bodied bird like Casey, amputation is just not really a viable option. You know, if it was just the distal portion of the wing, that would be a more reasonable approach. But in Casey's case, it would have been almost the whole wing, and that would have left him far too unbalanced. So Casey really needs a counterweight. Otherwise, every time he hops up or down off a perch, he's going to go off to the side. Not only that, when he is perched, if he has such a discrepancy between left and right, just like if you walk with a limp for a long time, your body will start to compensate. Casey's body would do the same thing. His foot would start to roll over to accommodate the extra weight. That leads to bone spurs, early onset arthritis, a whole host of different things. Casey could live to be anywhere between 30 and 50 years old here with us. So those type of issues extrapolated even over a short period of time is quite dramatic. So Casey will live with us for the rest of his life.
Good job.
All the birds have enclosures at the center, but Casey's enclosure is special just for him.
Every enclosure that we have here is geared towards each individual's ailment or disability. So in Casey's case, I mean, everything is low to the ground, right? Casey can't fly, Casey can't gain vertical elevation. So it's really important that we do offer him perches that are low to the ground. Casey also really is comfortable, you know, in his enclosure. He likes the ability to come up to the front. He likes the ability to interact with people. But also, he has his indoor area where we put him in at night, so he's safe and secure because his enclosure is open aired. It's not like some of the other ones that are fully enclosed because, again, Casey's a non-flighted bird. The other thing is because Casey's a glove-trained bird, there is a staging area right in his enclosure that lets me work with him, put him back, and get him out for our educational, our talks and our when we're hanging out down in the treatment center in the mornings or down here in front of the beautiful willow tree. I think Casey really loves his enclosure, and you know, there's really, you know, based on how comfortable he is in his enclosure, he feels like he runs the roost in there, and he certainly does, right? Eagles are, you know, somewhat territorial. Well, actually quite territorial once they reach adulthood, but in Casey's age in the wild, he would still be fairly nomadic. Until they reach adulthood, they don't really stake out a territory for breeding, but I believe that in Casey's case, he definitely feels like his enclosure is his territory, and rightfully so, it is. And so, yeah, when we go in there, every now and again, if you drop the scrub brush, he might try and grab it from you, and then you got to offer him a peace offering in order to get it back. So Casey's a really great bird with a really awesome personality, and yeah, in his enclosure, he reigns king.
As Casey doesn't live in the wild, his happiness is not about what he has never had a chance to experience compared to other eagles.
Casey is definitely got an enriched life, and there's a couple things to think about, right? One thing, Casey came in as a little eaglet with a shattered wing. So it's not a matter of Casey will never fly again, it's a matter of Casey never flew at all. The other thing to keep in mind is that, you know, eagles aren't out there flying for fun. It's eagles are flying, you know, to find prey. It's really hard out there in the wild for birds, especially raptors. So when an eagle is out flying, there's no guarantee that the amount of calories it expends, it's going to recoup by its prey. So it's really important to remember that, you know, really a happy eagle, the happiest eagle is really one that's completely satiated, so full of food, and perched on a nice high perch where it feels really comfortable. But Casey knows nothing of scarcity. And so Casey gets really full and has his favorite perch in his enclosure, and yeah, absolutely, Casey's a very happy bird.